You are about to be reintroduced to a secret technique, one that has been deliberately hidden for over 3,000 years. It was used by the initiates of Thoth to activate a form of true inner vision, the kind of sight that shows you what your physical eyes cannot. The most surprising part: your own body has already begun using this technique without your conscious permission. You recognize the feeling, that deep, unsettling sense that something is wrong, even when no one else seems to notice. Or that sudden chill that washes over you out of nowhere, as if someone has just called your name from within. These are not just random symptoms, they are signals. They are signs that your own perception has already started to pierce through the veil. By the end of this transmission, you will understand how to master the vibrational code that fully activates this inner portal. But first, you must understand why you are already living between two distinct worlds and what truly happens when you finally learn how to see both of them at the same time. If you separate the spirit from the body and learn to see with the eyes of the soul, then the hidden truth behind all forms will be revealed to you. You have always lived between two worlds. This is not a metaphor. It is not a fantasy. It is reality, a reality as ancient as time itself. But no one ever told you. No one ever taught you how to notice it. Since the earliest days of civilization, the great sages and mystics knew of the existence of these two overlapping layers of reality. At every single moment, there is the physical, concrete, visible world, and at the same time, there is the subtle, energetic, vibrational world. The first one is obvious, the second is silent, yet it is always present. Most people have been conditioned to believe that only what can be touched, measured, or proven by external means actually exists. But the ancients knew that this was only a fraction of the whole. They called this invisible realm the spiritual world, the ether, the astral plane, the akasha. In ancient India, they spoke of the material plane and the causal plane. The Egyptians described the visible world and the duat. The Greeks differentiated between the sensible world and the intelligible world. And the masters of the Hermetic tradition understood this principle with absolute clarity. Everything physical is merely the temporary manifestation of something much deeper and more fundamental. The body feels a sensation, but the energetic field surrounding the body already knew it was coming. The rational mind reacts to an event, but the subtle awareness had already sensed its approach. You believe you are making a decision in this present moment, but on a deeper level, your own vibration had already begun to turn the gears of reality long before you were consciously aware of it. This is not magic. This is an ancient science. It is the result of refined perception, and more importantly, it is an intrinsic part of your nature. From the moment you were born, you had access to both of these worlds. But your education, your environment, and your culture were all meticulously designed to disconnect you from one of them. You were taught to trust only what your physical eyes could see, to rely on numbers and on logic. You were taught that seeing is believing, but no one ever taught you that there are some things you can only truly see when you learn to feel, when you become silent, when you begin to observe with an instrument far beyond your ordinary vision. And that is precisely why you stopped believing in yourself. That gut feeling that came out of nowhere, that strange dream that later manifested in reality, that unshakable impression that something was off in the very air around you, all of it was dismissed and labeled as just your imagination. But it was not. It was your own perception crossing the subtle boundary between the two worlds. It was your consciousness trying to remind you that there is more. So much more than what your physical eyes can ever capture. Have you ever noticed how, in certain moments, time itself seems to stretch? how a tiny fraction of a second can feel as if it has a different weight, as if the entire environment around you has slowed down. It is in those precise moments that the second world reveals itself. It does not arrive with a loud announcement. It slips in quietly. It breathes in the silent pause between your thoughts. It lives in the liminal spaces between the lines of your perceived reality, and you have been there many times, even without consciously knowing it. The ancient masters used to say, the visible world is like the shadow of something greater. Just as Plato described in his allegory, most people live their lives staring at a wall, seeing only the shadows cast upon it, and firmly believing that those shadows are all there is. But those who dare to turn their face away from the wall discover a brilliant source of light that was always there, hidden only by habit, by hurry, and by endless distraction. And when you see that light for the very first time, your life is never the same again. You do not need to become someone else to see it. You do not need to study for years or follow a set of strict external rules. You simply need to begin the process of remembering. Because deep down, something within you already knows this truth. And that is why you feel what you feel. That is why certain places give you chills. That is why, even in the absence of external proof, you know that there is something more. You are standing between two worlds. You always have been, but only now have you begun to notice. And this is where everything is about to change. Because those who discovered how to see both of these worlds at the same time left behind a specific method. And it was hidden until now. This method was not a recent creation. It is ancient, far older than any organized religion, any modern scientific or paradigm, or any popular spiritual doctrine. It was preserved by one of the most mysterious and revered names in all of history, Thoth, also known as Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great. Thoth was considered to be the master of cycles, the lord of time, the keeper of the creative word, and the guardian of the access point between the worlds. But most importantly, he was one of the first to ever record what we now call the path to inner vision. But why does no one speak of this today? Why was this profound knowledge so carefully hidden for so long? Because in the wrong hands, it was not safe. This technique was never just another self-awareness practice. It was a tool that literally opened the doors of perception. It expanded the senses far beyond their normal range. It shattered the deeply ingrained illusion of matter as the only reality, and in doing so, it revealed what was truly behind the veil, the patterns, the frequencies, and the hidden intentions that shape our world. Once this vision was activated, it allowed you to see not just the world itself, but the invisible forces that move it. This was not something that could be taught to the masses, because not everyone is ready to see what is truly here. That is why, in his sacred texts, Thoth used codes, symbolic language, metaphors, and specific phrases that, at first glance, seem to be nothing more than poetry or mysticism. But for those who were ready, these words carried precise vibrational instructions. He was not speaking to the rational mind. He was speaking to the consciousness that exists behind the mind. Only the true initiates could decode his message. And this initiation did not take place in grand physical temples, but in the profound silence of being, in the direct encounter with oneself. For millennia, this knowledge was passed down in this manner, from master to disciple, in secret, one by one. There were no public lectures, no mass-produced books, only the direct vibrational transmission of understanding between two aligned consciousnesses. And why was there so much caution? Because those who were not prepared for this level of vision could be driven mad by what they saw. Seeing beyond the illusion requires a state of profound spiritual maturity. The truth can indeed set you free, but it can also create deep confusion if it arrives at the wrong time. Thoth knew this, and so did the initiates who followed his path. They were not different from you. They were simply ready to cross the veil, and for that, they needed more than mere curiosity. They needed presence, surrender, and a deep inner discipline. Because this vision cannot be bought. It is not inherited. It is earned through frequency, alignment, and true, unwavering intention. Over time, this knowledge seemed to dissolve into the sands of history. Some parts of it were lost, others were deliberately hidden, and still others continue to live on in ancient texts, ignored by those who read with their physical eyes, but not with their hearts. The Emerald Tablets, for example, are one of those clues, an encrypted summary of the path of inner transmutation. Every single line contains multiple levels of understanding, but without the key, it all just seems like an old, unsolvable riddle. But that key is not out there somewhere. It never was. It is inside of you, and that is what makes this technique so incredibly powerful. It does not depend on any external tools, on gurus, or on temples. It depends only on you, on your willingness to look, to feel, and to activate what is already there, lying dormant. You have carried this ability with you since the day you were born. It is not some special gift that is reserved only for a select few. It is part of the very structure of your consciousness, an internal instrument that simply went silent from a lack of use. But now, with everything that you have started to perceive, it is about to awaken once again. And now that you have made it this far, you are ready to discover the truth about a forgotten function that you already use every single day without knowing it. And the most impressive part is that you access this vision every day in the moment you least expect it, while you sleep. Yes, while your physical body rests, something deep inside of you moves far beyond the physical world. You dream, and dreaming is the act of seeing without your physical eyes. Have you ever really stopped to think about that? How is it possible that with your eyes closed and with no external light or stimuli, you can visualize entire, vivid scenes, colors, faces, emotions, and places? Where do those images truly come from? They are not mere projections of the physical world. They are internal manifestations, reflections of another, deeper layer of your consciousness that remains active even while your logical mind is silent. And that layer is precisely where your inner vision resides. Modern science often dismisses this as vivid imagination, but there are already serious studies showing that the human brain, while dreaming, processes a type of visual activity that does not depend on light or the retina. These are internal recordings, subtle instances of access to content that goes far beyond the conscious mind. This is the very territory where the third eye operates. And no, it is not just some esoteric symbol without any real foundation. It is a functional, vibrational structure, an internal lens that works completely outside the field of the 5 traditional senses. In your earliest years, you use this form of vision all the time. Just watch a baby. They will stare into the empty space of a room and smile. They will fix their gaze on points in the air that adults cannot see. Small children will talk to presences that adults do not notice, and the usual response from the world is, "It's just their imagination." But what we call imagination in this case is actually a form of subtle perception, the very same perception you lost access to when you learned how to rationalize everything, when you started to depend only on what was tangible, predictable, and socially acceptable. But that vision never truly left you. It just went quiet, waiting for the moment when you would be ready to activate it once again. And perhaps that moment has finally come. Because if you have made it this far, it is because something deep within you has started to feel that there is much more to this reality than what is in front of your physical eyes. There are 3 pillars that awaken this inner vision, and something profound happens when you learn to bring them together. In the center of your forehead, there is a place that many ancient spiritual traditions have revered as the seat of subtle perception. And now, you are going to do something simple, yet extremely powerful. You are going to bring your full attention there. No effort, no expectation, just your complete awareness. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe slowly. Feel the air entering through your nostrils, gently flowing down into your lungs, filling your entire body like a calm and gentle breeze. Now, exhale slowly. Do it once more. And now, bring your attention to the center of your forehead. Do not force anything. Just feel. Imagine that your own breath is touching this specific point each time it enters and exits your body. It is as if the air itself is gently cleansing this inner, sacred space. You might begin to feel a slight tingling sensation, a gentle pressure, or a warmth that slowly starts to arise. Some people feel as if a single drop of light is pulsing there. Others describe it as an energetic field that is vibrating outward, like a small internal sun that is beginning to light up inside their own head. But do not worry if you do not feel anything at all right now. What truly matters is that your attention is there. And where your attention goes, energy inevitably flows. This point between your eyebrows is a real and tangible energy center. It is not visible to the physical eye, but it is clearly perceived by those who begin to connect with it. The Vedic tradition calls it a center of inner vision, of refined intuition, and of direct perception. It is in this very center that information that is not coming from the conventional senses is processed. When you focus on this point with clear intention, you are literally turning on the inner light of your own house. Science is still taking its first tentative steps in this area, but there are already studies that show distinct neurological changes when experienced meditators concentrate on this exact point. Brain activity shifts, brain waves reorganize, and the body enters into states of deep coherence. But the most important part is not found in the external data. It is found in your own direct experience. And that is what is happening to you right now. If you keep your attention gently focused on the spot between your eyebrows, something inside of you begins to shift. You do not need to imagine anything, just observe. This point acts like a sophisticated antenna. It not only receives information, it also transmits it. It is like a silent radar that is constantly sensing what lies just beneath the surface of reality. Inner sounds, colors that do not come from any external light source, and sensations that seem to arise out of nowhere and yet slowly begin to make perfect sense. And perhaps, right at this moment, something is moving deep inside you, not like a new idea, but like a distant memory, as if a long-forgotten part of you were finally coming back to life. This point between your eyebrows is like a door, an energetic key. When you learn to look at it from within, you are sending a clear message to your entire being. I am ready to see, not with my physical eyes, but with what lies behind them. Thousands of people report that after just a few simple practices of breathing and focusing on this point, they start to perceive subtle patterns and sensations. They notice subtle shifts in how they think and feel. Their choices become more intuitive. Their decisions gain a new level of clarity. Their words begin to come with more strength, as if an inner compass is finally being reconnected and recalibrated. You are reactivating a center that was never truly shut off, only dormant. And by bringing your attention back to it, you have already begun the process of its vibrational reactivation. Simply focusing on this one point begins to reorganize your entire field of perception. It is as if you are cleaning a lens that has been covered in dust for years. And now, little by little, it is starting to reveal what has always been there, but what you simply could not see. This is the first sign that this energy center is responding. And when you learn to align the three main elements, this vision opens up like a portal. It is not a physical movement or a complex practice. It is a form of tuning, a specific frequency that only activates when three fundamental elements begin to vibrate in perfect harmony. They are like the three sides of a sturdy bridge. Without any one of them, the crossing cannot hold. But when they are brought together, they open a path to something that very few people dare to experience: the conscious activation of your inner vision. The first pillar is conscious silence. But this is not just any kind of silence. It is not the silence that occurs when you turn off the television or close the door to a noisy room. That is only the silence of the mouth, of the external environment. What we are talking about here is the silence that exists between your own thoughts, that invisible precious gap between one idea and the next. It is a tiny space that, when you learn to observe it, begins to grow. And in that space, there is immense power, because true silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of pure perception. It is the point where you stop reacting to the world and start to feel the very essence of things as they truly are. The ancients used to say that silence is the language of the spirit. And when you learn to listen in this profound frequency, your inner vision begins to emerge on its own as a natural reflection. The second pillar is sacred breathing. You breathe all the time, but what would it be like to breathe with intention, with presence, and with full, unwavering awareness? The ancient sages discovered that certain specific breathing patterns can completely alter the body's energy field. They do not just oxygenate the brain. They also have the power to reorganize brain waves, calm the entire nervous system, and release what was previously blocked. When you learn to breathe consciously, your mind begins to align with your body. The feeling of being rushed disappears. Anxiety slows down, and your attention becomes clear, stable, and clean. In that state, your energy begins to flow to the right places, including the center of your forehead, the primary channel of your inner vision. The breath is the portal between the visible and the invisible world, and learning how to consciously cross it is what changes everything. The third pillar is the one that is most challenging in our modern life: directed attention. In a world where everything is fiercely competing for your attention, learning how to keep your focus on a single point is almost a forgotten art. But it is this very art that awakens what has been asleep within you. Your attention is like a laser beam. If it is scattered and diffused, it has no real power. But if it is focused, it can cut through any barrier. When you learn to direct your attention inward, especially to the energy point between your eyebrows, your perception shifts to a new and deeper level. You leave the turbulent surface of the mind and dive into the vibrational field of pure consciousness. Inner vision does not open for the merely curious. It opens for the focused, for those who can hold their gaze even when it seems like nothing at all is happening. These three pillars, silence, breath, and attention, work together like a set of synchronized gears. Alone, they are already powerful, but together, they create a specific vibrational code that activates the field of perception that has been lying dormant within you. It is like turning on a forgotten machine. The ancients knew this. That is why it was never enough to just meditate, or to only practice breathing, or to just focus. It had to be all three, done at the same time, in a specific rhythm, in a precise sequence, and with a true and clear intention. And that is where the secret comes in. Because there is only one way to combine them correctly. And it was encoded in an ancient, secret ritual involving 7 distinct breathing steps. You are about to learn it now. This is the ritual of the 7 breaths, the ancient method to open the portal of hidden perception. It is no coincidence that there are 7. The number 7 carries a powerful archetypal pattern that is present in almost all sacred traditions. The 7 colors of the rainbow, the 7 notes of the musical scale, the 7 chakras, the 7 heavens. But here, the 7 breaths represent 7 distinct doors that open one by one, until the 8th door, the one that is not seen with the physical eyes, reveals the invisible world. So, breathe with me now. But not in the way that you usually do. Now, each breath will be a conscious call, an activation, a deliberate step inward. On the first breath, you will simply inhale slowly and deeply and visualize a golden light filling your entire body. Do not worry about seeing it with perfect clarity, just imagine it. As you exhale, let the air go as if you are releasing the entire weight of the world. This is the entrance door. On the second breath, imagine this golden light beginning to gather and concentrate at the center of your forehead. And as you exhale, picture a gentle mist that is starting to clear in the space all around you. Time itself seems to slow down. The constant noise of your mind begins to fade. You are now crossing the threshold of ordinary thought. On the third breath, feel as though the air is not just entering your lungs, but every single cell of your body, as if your entire being is breathing with you. And as you release the breath, you consciously let go of all hidden tension. Something deep within you begins to expand. It is subtle, but it is there. The fourth breath marks the transition point. Now, the light that you inhale no longer stays only within your body. It starts to expand beyond your physical limits. You may feel a mild warmth in the center of your forehead, perhaps a tingling sensation, perhaps a gentle pressure. Just observe it. Do not try to control it. By the fifth breath, the sensation of linear time has nearly disappeared. You are existing in the space between what was and what is yet to come. A silent, expansive space begins to open up before you. Some people report seeing fleeting images with their eyes closed, colors, symbols, movements. Others feel as if they are approaching something significant without knowing exactly what it is. On the sixth breath, you allow yourself to completely surrender. No forcing, no thinking, just breathing. And in that precise moment, your whole body seems to enter a state of suspended animation. The air flows in and out, but you are no longer just breathing, you are tuning. You are like a musical instrument that, after years of being out of tune, is finally returning to its original, perfect tone. On the seventh and final breath, you remain in silence. Inhale and exhale as if you are floating. The mind does not struggle. The body feels light. Your sense of ordinary reality seems distant, yet at the same time, more alive than ever before. You are standing on the very threshold of the invisible. And if you allow this state to unfold without any resistance, the veil itself begins to dissolve. But if you think that this is the peak, then get ready. Because what comes next is the most mysterious and profound space of the mind, and you are about to enter it consciously. This space is not visible under a microscope or through a telescope, but it is there, in the imperceptible gap between one thought and the next, in the subtle crack between what you think and what you are. This place was called by the ancients the blind spot of consciousness, a place where the logical, analytical mind cannot enter, where linear time dissolves, and where the usual rules of thought no longer apply. And the most curious part is that you have already been there. Everyone has passed through this very point. You know that fleeting moment right before you fall asleep, when you are not fully awake, but not yet asleep? That is it. This in-between state is the first portal, but it usually passes by so quickly, and since most people were never trained to notice it, it simply slips by, unrecognized. But now, you are learning how to recognize it, and more than that, you are learning how to stay within it. In this space, time does not behave in the same way. Minutes can feel like hours. Ideas arise effortlessly. Sensations that were once muted and in the background become sharp and clear, and your entire perception shifts. You stop observing the world from the outside and begin to perceive the world that is vibrating within. At this point, your inner vision starts to emerge, like a new lens being fitted to your awareness. You begin to see what was previously hidden, not with your physical eyes, but with the conscious field that has always been operating in the background. This is the dance of the mental waves, the frequencies that reveal the invisible. What you see, feel, and understand begins to operate on a completely different pattern. And this is a proven phenomenon. Modern science has already shown that your brain does not emit a single, constant frequency. It shifts, it dances, it adapts. And this mental dance is what defines the quality of your consciousness in any given moment. During your normal, waking state, you operate primarily in the beta frequency. This is useful for working, for making logical decisions, and for responding to the external world. But it is also in this state that your mind tends to be more agitated, more critical, and more anxious. In the alpha state, your brain activity slows down. You enter a more creative, intuitive, and receptive field. This is the level where artists often find their inspiration, where new ideas are born. And this is exactly where the bridge begins to form between the external world and the subtle inner one. When you go even deeper and enter the theta frequency, you are navigating the space between wakefulness and sleep. This is a space where the logical mind falls almost completely silent and the subconscious takes the lead. Small children operate in this frequency naturally, which is why they learn so quickly and effortlessly through observation. In this state, hidden memories can surface. Deep insights can happen, and more than that, this is where you begin to see what lies beyond the surface. Even lower is the delta frequency, which is associated with deep, dreamless sleep, cellular regeneration, and, in advanced practitioners, contact with the deep zones of the collective unconscious. States of profound healing and out-of-body experiences tend to occur at these levels. But this is not about falling asleep. It is about accessing these powerful brainwave states with a conscious and grounded mind. And that is what the previous exercise has begun to prepare you to do. When you enter this deep internal rhythm, the outer world begins to feel different. Colors may appear more vivid. Sounds may become more subtle. Your thoughts slow down. And then, your inner vision begins to take the place of your normal perception. It is not that you will start seeing fantastic movie-like things. It is that you will begin to notice what has always been here, but what you never had the capacity to access before. The vibrational field of people, the true intention behind their words, the energetic state of a physical space. all of this begins to become visible, not with your physical eyes, but with your expanded consciousness. Some call this process awakening. Others call it expanded perception. The name does not matter. What matters is that once you enter this state, you do not go back to being the same person. Your sensitivity increases, your intuition gets stronger, and your connection with the invisible world becomes natural. But with this profound opening, something else changes as well. You begin to attract what protects this sacred threshold. Because by activating this powerful field of vision, you also attract something that few people are ready to face: the guardians of the threshold. And you need to know how to move through them. These guardians do not show up as mystical figures or as external entities. They emerge from deep within you. They are profound reflections of your own mind, and they are activated when you begin to move beyond the limits of your known world. The first guardian is doubt. This is not a superficial doubt about techniques or methods, but a deep, penetrating doubt that touches the very core of your identity. You will begin to wonder, is any of this real, or am I just fooling myself? This is the ultimate test of your inner faith, not a blind faith, but a vibrational faith, the ability to remain present even without any external guarantees. Then comes fear. This is an ancient fear, the fear of losing control, of letting go, of no longer being the person you thought you were. It often shows up as a form of resistance, as a sudden and powerful urge to stop, to go back to the familiar comfort of your old routine. But fear, in this context, is a guardian that is asking you a single, crucial question. Are you truly ready to cross this portal without knowing what is on the other side? And then comes impatience, the intense desire to see immediate and tangible results. The modern mind wants signs, proof, and rewards. But inner vision does not work in that way. It opens like a flower, in its own perfect time. If you try to force it, it closes. This guardian is here to teach you how to wait with a state of pure presence, not with anxious expectation. The last guardian, and perhaps the most subtle of all, is the spiritual ego. When you begin to feel new things, to perceive more, and to have different and unique experiences, the idea might arise that you are special, that you are different from others, that you are somehow superior. This is the poison that can shut down the channel before it has a chance to fully open. Because true inner vision can only be sustained by a state of profound humility, not by pride. It blooms in the emptiness of being, not in the need to be someone. And now that your vision has begun to open, comes the most important part of all, how to live with it in the real world. That is the content of the next video. You are ready. If you felt as though this message was meant specifically for you, write in the comments, "My inner vision has awakened." This phrase is not just symbolic. It serves to anchor the vibration that has been activated within you, and it may resonate with other souls who are awakening too. Now, do not leave just yet. A video has been specially selected for you to continue this profound journey. It is appearing here on the screen right now. Click on it and I will meet you there, where I will show you how to live with this new vision in the real world. If this video resonated with you, let us know by commenting, "I understood it."